Hello everyone, and this is What If Deku was the reincarnation of Escanor Part 4. So, let's continue. After being healed from his testing of One For All by Recovery Girl, Deku was sent back home. And while he was going back home, there was only one thought in his mind. I need to get stronger in my nighttime form. As with that, Deku went back home, created a schedule for his nighttime training, and then went to sleep. Now, we'll skip to the first day of Deku attending UA High School, with Deku arriving at UA with his custom-made uniform, which are provided by UA. It being able to expand and shrink according to Deku's size. Deku arriving at Class 1A, he would see Bakugo and Ida arguing with each other, which he pays no attention to. Him just walking over to his seat and sit down, thinking, everyone has arrived, yet the teacher has not. How disappointing of UA. As about, let's say 5 minutes, Aizawa woke up from his sleep and got up from under the table. Him yelling at the students for them to sit down and shut up. Him continuing to tell everyone to change into their training uniforms, and that they will have a quirk apprehension test. To which Deku stands up and walking towards Aizawa, he says, "You lack manners, teacher. You need to say please after your requests to those who are above you." Huh? Yeah, whatever. Either you do as I say, or you'll get kicked out of the school. Your choice. Such disrespectful. But don't worry, my patience is quite high. Deku turning around and walking up the classroom, he walked to the boys' changing room, changed into his training uniforms, and by the time he got out, that was when the rest of the class arrived. Him being the first to arrive at the training ground where Aizawa said that he's going to be holding the quirk apprehension test at. With the rest of Class 1A arriving shortly after, Aizawa began the test with the ball throw. Him throwing the ball to the one who got first place in the entrance exam, which of course is Deku. Aizawa telling Deku to throw the ball as hard as he can. Deku would do so. However, just as Deku was about to throw the ball, Aizawa would have erased Deku's quirk just to see how Deku is going to fare up against a normal person without using a quirk. Which, just as Aizawa erased Deku's quirk, Deku poof back into his nighttime form, along with the ball being thrown only 1 meter away from where Deku is standing. This, of course, shocking everyone, since nobody thought that Deku was actually this buff and or this muscular because of his quirk. And now that they saw that Deku is actually just a very skinny guy, and he's only that muscular because of his quirk, yeah, everyone is just in awe. Deku, realizing that he is now in his nighttime form, along with that teacher is Eraserhead, he said, Mr. Eraserhead, can you not do that?" Eraserhead saying, "No can do, it is to gauge your own original strength. But now that I've seen your original strength, I wonder, what is your quirk, Izuku Midoriya?" It's not that great of a quirk, it's more like a curse." "That's not the answer to my question. Answer my question." Yes sir, my quirk is called Sunshine. When the sun rises, I grow stronger, more muscular, and more arrogant. When the sun falls, I grow less strong, less muscular, and less arrogant. Really now. Aizawa, closing his eyes and deactivating his erasure quirk, Deku would buff back up to his daytime form, with him saying, "Now that you understand, Eraserhead, I'll have you know, even though my patience is quite high, there is still a limit." Aizawa just giving Deku another ball, he would tell Deku to, this time, throw the ball with his quirk, saying that this time he would not erase Deku's quirk. And as Deku holds the ball in his hand, he thinks, should I use All Might's quirk? Or should I only use my strength? No, I do not need his quirk to become the strongest. I already am. Just as Deku finished that thought, he threw the ball out of the atmosphere. Actually, no. Deku threw the ball as hard as he can, so hard that it actually caught on fire and was turned to ash. With Aizawa looking at his phone, it just said, "Error." Aizawa saying, "Error? What does that mean?" "It means the ball cannot withstand my mighty strength." That was $500 worth of damage you just caused. It is your fault for doubting my strength, Eraserhead. Next. Now, for the rest of the test, Deku... yeah, he just dominates everything. Speed first, strength first, you know. Now, we'll skip to the heroes versus villains test. With All Might arriving in the classroom, he would tell everyone to change into their hero costumes. As for the hero costume of Deku, well, you know that golden armor that Escanor wears? Yeah, that is the one. And the weapon, Divine Axe Rita, yes, he also have that. As for the teams, it's the same. Deku and Uraraka versus Bakugo and Ida. The only difference is that Bakugo does not want to fight Deku. Why? Because from his personal experience from fighting Deku, Deku without a weapon is already a freaking beast. And now that he has a one-handed axe, well, they are just dead. And if you will allow me to swear, they're fucked. So yeah, when the fight started, it is actually Ida who is facing against Deku, not Bakugo. Bakugo is just hiding behind the bomb. As for the fight between Ida and Deku, well, even though Ida is quote-unquote fast, he's not faster than Deku. So when Ida was running around Deku and trying to find a place to hit him, Deku just extended out his hand and grabbed Ida by his face under his helmet. Deku saying, "To be honest, fighting weaklings who are obviously weaker than me gives me no entertainment. So I'll be generous and give you a chance. Surrender, and you won't get hurt." But Ida just getting his head out of his helmet, he landed on the ground and jumped up, trying to kick Deku in the face. However, when he kicked Deku, Deku did not even flinch, saying, "So this is your choice? How depressing." Deku, crushing Ida's helmet, he backfist Ida, which sent Ida flying away and into a pillar, or a column. With Ida barely being able to get back up, Uraraka walked over and captured Ida with the capturing tape. While she was doing that, Deku walked up the stairs and met Bakugo face to face. Deku saying, I gave Tenya Ida a choice, and he made a bad decision. I wonder, what choice will you take, Katsuki? With Bakugo having a rapid flashback of every single time he fought Deku and lost, he said, I surrender. Good choice. Deku, walking past Bakugo and grabbing the bomb, All Might would declare that the heroes wins. And with that, the rest of the heroes vs villains tests are the same. But just as class was ending, All Might would have requested Deku to meet him at the teacher's office, which when they arrived, Deku would have been asked by All Might how he feels when he used One for All, to which Deku just says, "Oh, your quirk? No, I have not used it once today. Only using my glorious quirk is more than enough for any test that you give me, All Might. I will only use your quirk when I am either in that puny form, or when I am bored and wanting to try something new." All Might saying, "Can you not be that arrogant when it is daytime?" Arrogant? I am not arrogant. I am just stating the facts. Now, we'll just skip over to the day where Deku and Class 1A is visiting the USJ. With Deku being in the bus along with everyone in Class 1A, they would start talking about their quirks and asking Deku how he can basically manipulate fire, or should I say, a sun. Deku being a bit surprised since he never actually used Cruel Sun in any of the activities. The only time he did was in the entrance exam. Him asking how did they know, to which Uraraka just tells Deku that there is actually a video of Deku using Cruel Sun. Deku saying, "Oh? Who recorded my greatness without my permission?" Mina saying, actually, it is from the reporters who were there when you fought that slime villain." Kaminari saying, "Yeah, and from the way you've been using your quirk, it looks like that you've been using it for at least 20 years. So how are you so good at it?" "Well, there is no secret behind it. You just train as hard as you can and as much as you can." To which, after hearing Deku say that, everyone who is inside the conversation would just say, "Of course we know that!" Now, whenever Class 1A arrive at the USJ, the Hero 13 will be there to, well, teach them about, the usage of quirks. And just like the anime, whenever Class 1A, Aizawa, and 13 went into the USJ, a portal would have opened in the middle of the USJ, with villains arriving through the portal. Deku, seeing the villains swarming out of the portal, he would start to walk towards them, with Aizawa asking, "Midoriya, where are you going?" You might not expect this from me, Eraserhead, but babysitting happens to be my specialty. As Deku just jumps away towards the group of villains. 13, seeing Deku jumping towards the villains, she would start to basically use her quirk Black Hole to pull him back. However, Eraserhead would just tell 13 to not do that. 13 saying, "Eraserhead, do you want your student to die?" Of course not. Have some faith in him. He's strong. Very strong. But even if he is strong, he will get overrun. Like I said, have some faith in him. Also, not to mention, it is almost noon. Back over with Deku, he landed in the middle of the group of villains, with every villain saying, "Huh, look who it is. Have you come to surrender?" You villains are quite foolish, coming here just to greet death." "What did you say? Get him!" With every single villain around Deku rushing towards him, Deku would start to, well, one-shot every single villain. How, you may ask? Well, punching them, back-fisting them, smashing their heads with Rita, just Escanor doing Escanor things. But this is getting quite boring for Deku. Deku thinking, this is not as fun as I thought. Maybe I should try something new like I told All Might. I know. Deku, jumping up and away from the group of villains, he would land in basically a bit away from the group of villains. With the group of villains rushing towards him, Deku would put down Rita. Him cocking back his right arm and using 100% one raw in it, along with basically releasing a bit of heat. And by a bit, I mean like a lot. Him simply saying, "Inferno Smash," with Deku punching and releasing a wave of flames along with a wave of wind. This caused the villains to either be hit by flames or get sent flying away, or even both. And with this attack, Deku took out 90% of the villains. And by took out, I don't mean kill. I mean just knock them unconscious or even cause them to be unable to move. As for Shigaraki, he was protected by the Nomu. And after seeing the destruction that Deku did, Shigaraki ordered the Nomu to, kill Deku. Which the Nomu rushing at Deku, it would, punch Deku. But Deku catching the attack, he would say, you pack quite some strength behind your attack, villain." And just as Deku finished saying that, the Nomu would continue to punch at Deku. However, Deku, using the same hand, he would continue to block and or catch every single attack that the Nomu throws at him. While that was happening, he would charge up an attack with his other hand. And by charging up an attack, I mean he just gripped his hand to a fist and punched the Nomu, which only caused the Nomu to step back like 3 steps. Deku, seeing this, he thought, he withstood that. Maybe I should get serious. With the Nomu charging in to attack Deku again, Deku, this time, would throw a cruel sun at the Nomu. The Nomu, getting hit by the cruel sun, it would try to grab onto the cruel sun and throw it back towards Deku. However, while it was grabbing onto the cruel sun, Deku sent the Nomu flying up and then exploded the cruel sun, which normally would not do a lot of damage to the Nomu since, it has regeneration and shock absorption. However, since right now it is about noon, and also since Deku did train his nighttime form, meaning Deku increased his base power, along with Sunshine being just a multiplier, Deku is now far stronger than normal. So, yeah, he just exploded the Nomu into a billion pieces. If not exploding it into pieces, then burning the pieces into ashes. And yeah, I believe that this will be a good place to end this part. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then, like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, have a nice day.